Picture this. You win a staggering $30 million in the lottery. Your life forever changed in an instant. But what if this windfall becomes the catalyst for a harrowing tale of greed, deception, and tragedy? That's the reality Abraham Lee Shakespeare faced. Join us as we delve into his roller coaster journey from rags to riches and ultimately to a chilling end. Abraham Lee Shakespeare was a casual worker from the U.S. who won a $30 million lottery prize in Florida in 2006 and took home $17 million. He was born on April 24, 1966, and died around April 7, 2009. His family said he was lost in 2009, and in January 2010, his body was found buried under a concrete slab in the backyard of a friend. Doris Dee Moore was found guilty of killing him and is now sentenced to life in jail without the chance of parole. On November 15, 2006, the $30 million Florida Lotto winning ticket was bought at a Town Star gas station in Frostproof, Florida. Michael Ford and Abraham Lee Shakespeare were on their way to Miami that day when they stopped at the Frostproof convenience store for a short time to buy cigarettes and drinks. Shakespeare replied, "Yes, I would like a soda." Ford then got out of the truck. Instead, he asked Ford to get him 2 lottery tickets. He told Ford that he paid $2 for the tickets with the $5 he had on him that day. Later, Ford went up to Shakespeare and demanded at least a $1 million share of the jackpot. Shakespeare refused to pay, so Ford sued Shakespeare, saying that Shakespeare stole lotto tickets from Ford's wallet. The jury didn't accept Ford's story about not having the lottery tickets, and Shakespeare won the case. Shakespeare had picked a one-time payment of $17 million in cash. He left his poor area in Lakeland, Florida, and moved into a gated community. A few months after winning the lottery, he only bought a $1 million house and a Rolex watch from a pawn shop. By late January 2010, the sheriff who was looking into Shakespeare's departure had told a P that the lottery money was gone now. Friends said that Shakespeare was getting tired of the constant requests for money from both friends and strangers. He told a childhood friend, "I thought all these people were my friends, but then I realized all they want is money." He also told his brother, "I'd have been better off broke." Doris Dee Moore was one of them. She started a business with Shakespeare called Abraham Shakespeare, LLC, and took charge of the school's money. Moore then took out $1 million and used it to buy a Hummer, a Chevrolet Corvette, and a truck before going on vacation. In the end, she said that Shakespeare gave her the money. On November 9, 2009, Shakespeare's family said they had not seen him since April of that year and that he was lost. At first, his family and friends thought he had taken his money and was now living on a beach in the Caribbean Sea. Investigators were led to the garden of a house Moore had bought and found Shakespeare's body buried under 2.7 meters of dirt under a brand new concrete slab. He was only 42 years old. Police in Hillsborough County say Shakespeare died in the Plant City Ranch home on April 6 or 7. Police arrested Moore on February 2, 2010, because she was linked to the death of Shakespeare. A judge set the bond at $1 million. The cops said Moore had tried to persuade a friend to dig up and move the body a week after it had been buried. He also kept trying to convince other people that Shakespeare was still alive. Moore was charged with first-degree murder on February 19, 2010. Abraham Shakespeare's death was most likely caused by Doris Donegan D.D. Moore, who was born on July 25, 1972. In 1992, she married James Moore, and their son was born in 1995. Moore was found guilty of insurance fraud and wrongly reporting a crime in 2001 and put on probation for a year. The year 2002 saw Moore file for bankruptcy. Moore told the cops that Shakespeare had left town and was either in a hospital or in Texas, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, or Orlando, Florida before the body was found. Moore also said that Shakespeare left town because he was sick of people asking for money. Police found Shakespeare's body under a slab of concrete in the garden of the house Moore had put in her boyfriend's name. Moore told the police different stories about what happened to Shakespeare. Moore then put the blame on drug sellers, a lawyer, and her son, who is 14 years old. She later said that she killed Shakespeare to protect herself. As soon as Shakespeare went missing, Moore, who was living in his house, kept pretending to be Shakespeare on his cell phone and sending text messages to his friends and family. People who heard them thought they didn't sound like Shakespeare and were suspicious because he couldn't read or write. When people texted Moore Shakespeare's phone with questions that Moore couldn't answer, they got no response. Moore tried to make it look like Shakespeare was still living. At the same time, she looked for someone willing to take the blame for Shakespeare's death in exchange for $50,000. She also said she would pay someone to dig up Shakespeare's body and move it to a different place. Property records show that Moore's business, American Medical Professionals, bought Shakespeare's home. Moore told police that she bought Shakespeare's house for $655,000 and paid $185,000 for loans that were owed to other people, but were worth much more. However, there is no proof that she paid Shakespeare anything. Moore promised the mother of one of Shakespeare's sons a $200,000 house if she would lie to the police and say she had seen him lately. She also gave a family member of Shakespeare $5,000 to give his mother a birthday card that looked like it came from him. Moore was being investigated, and it was found that she had once faked a scene to illegally keep a car that was about to be taken because the payments were past due. She had someone park the car in a garage for her and then claimed to be kidnapped, raped, and her car was stolen. Police said she taped her wrists together and threw herself out of someone else's car. She even took a test on rape. After that, she pleaded not guilty and was put on probation. Moore was found guilty of first-degree murder for killing Shakespeare on December 10, 2012, and given a sentence of life in prison without the chance of parole. She also got an extra 25 years in prison for possessing a gun in the course of a violent felony. The American E! TV show Curse of the Lottery, part of an episode of Lottery Changed My Life, and a 2013 episode of American Greed all talked about Shakespeare's problems after winning the lottery and his following murder. Deadly Women also did a show about the case in July 2013 that was mostly about Doris Moore's part in the murder. In September 2013, an episode of Snapped was all about Moore's murder trial. Moore was also in an episode of the TV show Lockup in 2011 while she was waiting for her trial in the Hillsborough County Jail in Tampa, Florida. She said she was going to sell the rights to her story to get $200,000 for a lawyer who could help her get out of jail. Moore refuted all of the charges. The first episode of Hulu's Web of Death series, which aired in 2023, was about Moore's arrest and the murder of Shakespeare. It was also talked about on Peacock's Buried in the Backyard this year, his case and trial. Moore has, however, pushed for lottery winners to have their identities kept secret for at least 6 months after they cash in their tickets, even though she was involved in the death of Abraham Shakespeare. It makes them a target, she told CBS News. In May 2022, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis signed a law that makes it illegal to reveal the names of people who won more than $250,000. If someone wins at least $600, their name is released after 90 days. As we close the chapter on Abraham Lee Shakespeare's life, his story lingers, prompting us to reflect on the complexities of wealth and human nature. What do you think could have changed the course of his fate? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you've been moved by this story, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more riveting tales. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious.